We have been talking about the CDP formula, which is consistency, discipline minus procrastination equals your glow up. And who is ready to glow up with me? Are y'all ready to glow up or nah? I'm trying to glow up every day, stress free, living my best life. Vibes. Living the best life for the rest of our life. Snap to that, boo. Let's snap to that. I like to give us some knowledge. And right now we are reading this book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. If you want to read this book, we are like on chapter 5. I want to give you some gems from the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, and we're going to be focusing on chapters 5, 6, and 7. Let me break this down for all of my future entrepreneurs, all of the dental students out there, even my high schoolers who are hustling hard. Like, pat yourself on the back for trying to get your education and just being a real lit person. Chapter 5, it's called Practice Creative Procrastination. You're going to procrastinate about something in life. There's just not enough time to do everything that you need to do. And the older you get, the more things you have on your list, and you cannot do them all. So the best thing that we can learn to do as we are practicing this skill of anti-procrastination is to be creative when you procrastinate. Success isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things at the right time. Now, as a dentist and a business owner, I can say that I learned to delay or delete distractions that cost me money and my peace. You can't do everything you have to do, so you must procrastinate on something. It says deliberately or consciously procrastinate on small tasks. We already know that we want to do the hardest, most difficult thing that you've been avoiding. The biggest, ugliest frog, you want to eat that frog first. You don't want to go playing with the tadpoles and playing with little things that don't really have high value. Everyone procrastinates. The difference between high performers and people who are low performers is determined by what you procrastinate on. If you are high performer, you're going to procrastinate on things that don't really matter. You're not going to sit and count pennies. You're not going to sit and organize your markers, or you're not going to, maybe you don't have time to wash clothes, so you drop your clothes off to the laundry, but you're going to pick which tasks you procrastinate on and ones that are high value, especially in entrepreneurship. I am struggling with this right now in business, just being short staffed, and as a dentist having to do some hygiene stuff, having to take x-rays sometimes, having to do billing, having to do supply orders. The list goes on and on for me right now in business. But this is what I must do to keep the business alive, to save on the overhead, and hopefully not go out of business. We have to procrastinate on some things. Learn and be creative on what you are not going to waste your time on. Certain people do not deserve your time. They literally don't. Sometimes you got to be creative and procrastinate on people energy, because if it's not positive, you got to get away. Flee, please, flee. Procrastinate, delegate, eliminate, or outsource low value activities. As business people, we really need to be delegating anything that isn't going to serve us. Even though I'm a practice owner and I could hire a hygienist, and I have in the past, with overhead, hygienists nowadays are super expensive. But you have to do what you have to do in the name of business. That's why business is not for the weak. Sometimes you must do the things that you don't want to do, need to be done. We want to distinguish between priorities and posteriorities. A priority is something that you want to do sooner. A posteriority is something that you do less, later, or not at all. So determine what and who in your life is a priority and who is a posteriority, baby. You are in the past. Yeah. No. You can get your time, life under control only to the degree to which you discontinue lower value activities. I've seen so many studies on the internet about the impact of social media nowadays, especially when you do low activities. If you just on there strolling and not really engaging with things that make you feel uplifted, positive, or just growing your brain. It's okay to stroll sometimes, but I think it has become an addiction, which is why our phones now, they record the screen time and they let you know when you spend a little bit too much time just looking at people instead of getting into your creator bag, instead of working on your business, studying for your tests, getting ready for the next day, and just being the best person that you can be and waking up with that positive energy versus waking up ready to stroll, ready to see what's on the book, ready to see what's on the gram, and not ready to see what's in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, and in your spirit. You got to check yourself first. That's why self-love is the best love, because self-love is a high value activity. Worrying about other people, watching other people is a low value activity unless they're giving you something that you need. Maybe they're making you laugh. Maybe they're funny. Maybe they're giving you vital information. But as long as it's helping you grow, or if you are creating, okay, so just choose which one is a priority and which one is a, what is it called? Posteriority. It's all about prospecting, building rapport and trust, identifying the needs, presenting persuasively, answering objectives, closing the sale, and getting resales and referrals. Now, with dentistry, I'm definitely in both areas of these topics, the management and the sales. I have to plan my day, plan the bills, plan a lot of different things, how to even set up the infrastructure and the bones of the office, organizing the staff, organizing different things, delegating, supervising, measuring, reporting. Same thing for sales. You have to prospect. For instance, on Twitch, we prospect by sharing clips to YouTube or other social media platforms. We build rapport by showing up. That's why this consistency project is important, that we don't procrastinate and that we show up 365 days for our goals. Whatever goal you have picked to do 365 days, you must show up. That's the only requirement, is to show up, to build rapport and trust. That's like me here on Twitch. Even though I started 7 days ago, if I would have skipped a day or not showed up at the regular time, it breaks the trust. And that's something that I realized. You can't just break the trust with your audience. You must show up. So I have to show up. I have to do what I say I'm going to do and show up. That's why I'm showing up now. Regardless of who's watching, even though I can't see the views, I'm still showing up and giving the meat and the potatoes. It says you want to identify needs, present persuasively, answer objectives, close the sale, and get resales. Give yourself a grade from 1 to 10 on each one of those areas. And your weakest key result area sets the highest at which you can use all of your other skills and abilities. What does that mean? With the manager key areas, planning, organizing, staffing, delegating, supervising, measuring, reporting, you're going to grade yourself. And whichever one is the lowest out of 10, that's your limit for all areas. So say you gave yourself a 9 in every area except organizing. You got a 5 in organizing. Until you bring that 5 up in organizing, it's going to hinder every other area. Continue to grow in all key areas. These are the big 7 key areas. Poor performance produces procrastination. If you have a weak area that you avoid and you continue to avoid it, it's going to produce procrastination because you refuse to get better. You refuse to justify that weakness. You make your own self a victim when you don't prioritize your time, or you refuse to get better in any of your weak areas.